Welcome bitches, one and all, to my reaction to Season 3, Episode 7 of Love Victor, the Gay Award. So last time we had what appears to be the ending of Felix and Pilar, which, while it is sad, and I really do hope that by the end of next episode, even if it's unlikely, I hope they end up together, they gotta do what's best for them, and if Pilar genuinely doesn't think that this relationship is gonna work, then that's completely up to her, but like I said, I do hope that by the end of next episode we do see them back together. Now, we also had the potential beginnings of Victor and Nick, which, do I think they are endgame? Do I think by the end of the finale they're going to be together? I don't know. I feel like, because it could go one of both ways. It could be that he does end up with Nick and they have this really nice start to their romance and we end it off seeing Victor discover new things. But I don't know. I feel like this entire season they've been leading up to Victor and Benji being together simply because they've had so much personal growth on their own. And a lot of the issues of their relationship to do with sharing of truths, to do with getting angry at each other for things that they didn't understand, they seem to have gotten so much better at that, and they seem to have got understanding of each other's needs. So I feel like it's just been leading to those two being together by the end, but we'll see. We've obviously got a starting of a potential relationship here, so I'm still excited to see that blossom, no matter if it ends up if they're together or not. But yes, with that said, very excited to get into it and watch the penultimate episode of Love Victor. So without further ado, let's go. Cute.
Would you want to come up? Do I want to? Absolutely. But I don't think we should.
Interesting.
I want to take things slow this time.
Respectful. So I was gonna say, it's kind of strange that someone who was so into hookups and was hooking up with Victor would be this hesitant about it, but there's a different element in play now of the emotional side of their relationship, because that's what I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people that are very big into hookups are into hookups because they don't want the emotional side of things. They don't want to get attached to people. They don't want people to be attached to them. They just want to get it out of the way, get their sexual desires out of the way without the expectations of a relationship. Whereas now that he's actually wanting to explore being in a relationship with Victor, he's a little more, not shy, but a little more hesitant to go so into it, because he probably thinks it will ruin it. He probably thinks that they need to form a bond before going there, which I know it sounds strange because like they've already had sex so many times. Well, they haven't actually had sex, have they? They've done all of the other things. So maybe that's another reason why he's hesitant as well. I didn't really think of that part.
Well, I'm free basically the whole week, except for the Winter Carnival. Oh, cute.
Victor's so cute, bro. Like the actor.
The Ferris wheel?
The Ferris wheel. Oof.
Couldn't get more adorable if you tried.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. He's so cute.
A little bird told me that someone is getting a very big honor at the award ceremony before the Winter Carnival. This award is equally important, I mean, maybe even more important, because you, my friend, are winning the Bravery Award.
Oh no, please don't tell me this is gay related.
Getting an award for being gay?
Yes!
Are you fucking kidding me? That sounds like my worst fucking nightmare. How did they think this was a good idea, bro? What? Honestly, people astound me with their level of stupidity. He's literally just living his life. He's done nothing brave. You could say it's brave. You could say that it was a brave act to do, and yes, it would require bravery, but it shouldn't require bravery. Do you get what I mean? Like, Victor's literally just living his life as he is, and you're telling him that he's being brave? Like, it's kind of a slap in the face when you think about it, but I get where they're coming from. Just no. Please no. No, it's not necessary.
Look, can I get back to you tomorrow about whether I want to accept the award or not?
I didn't realize it would take any thinking, but,
Well, you think he would be so happy about getting up on stage and be like, yay, I'm gay? Like, what?
There's nothing else to say. I'm not gonna beg you to stay with me.
Oh, end of a relationship?
Stuart thinks that our relationship journey has run its course.
What a weird way of saying we're breaking up. You know those were his words.
Any guy who cannot see how great you are, or uses the phrase relationship journey.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Thank you for picking up on that. What the fuck?
I will be fine.
I love that relationship, bro.
Want you to walk that gorgeous girlfriend of yours to school.
Oh, about that.
I'll be home soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, he's not telling her.
What have I been brave about?
You walked out of the house in that pajamas and hoodie combo.
I love Raheem.
Why do I always have to be gay Victor? Why can't I just be Victor?
Okay.
T.
But this is a chance for you to stand up in front of our entire school and say you're out and proud. So maybe just take it.
Well, I feel like there's a very big difference between there's a difference between feeling out and proud within yourself and having to scream it from the rooftops. You would find that a majority of people do not want to scream it from the rooftops. They want to just live their fucking life. And their being out and proud is just living their life, like not lying, not sitting in the closet. Like, it's so simple just to live your life and that be your brave act. Just live your life for you. And I don't think that this award is necessary. I think it's so like distasteful to think that Victor needs an award for this, to think that it's something that deserves an award. Deserves is the wrong word, but you get what I mean. Something that requires a reward. It should just be so normalized that that isn't even a thought in your head, you know?
But I feel like I am out and proud. I don't need to prove that to anyone, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if anyone deserves a gay award, it's you. I mean, picking up a hot waiter while you're at dinner with your family? Come on.
I know. Not only that, but homophobic uncle. Like, go the fuck off, Raheem.
His emoji game is fire. Like, none of that hard eyes bullshit. We're talking Draculas. We're talking.
If someone said your emoji game is fire, I would end that relationship immediately.
Lucy told me that she's graduating early and moving to Portland, which means our
Yeah.
relationship has an expiration date.
No,
Not necessarily.
I don't believe in expiration dates. That's just a myth Big Grocery invented to sell more soup.
I invited her over tonight to talk, but I have no idea what I'm going to say.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean the end of your relationship. There are so many instances of long distance relationships working out. It just depends on what you're putting first. If you want to put the relationship first and you want to make it work, then by all means it will. If Lucy says yes to this long distance thing because she feels like she's been backed into a corner and she feels like she can't say it because she loves Lake, she doesn't want to hurt her, then that's the bad route to go down. You have to both really want this and it will work. So me saying this, if Lake doesn't want that, absolutely fine. It is the end of the relationship. But I'm just saying, if you're both down, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
You still have a few months before Lucy leaves, right? So instead of stressing about the future, why don't you just have a blast with her while you can?
Okay, that's pretty good advice.
Right? Suck it, Mia. Who's your bestie now?
Still not you.
Oh, that was cute.
Coach, I know this was a very important opportunity, but this trip meant a lot to Mia.
He was going to get
There will
MVP.
be college recruiters at other games.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just spoke to Coach Ford this morning. You know what? Actually, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Hey, Victor.
He wants to listen.
I know I said we can't hang out, but I didn't mean we can't have a conversation.
Yeah, nice.
There's nothing I'd rather do than tell you what's going on with me.
Benji doesn't know about what his dad said to Victor.
It's already killing me that we're not hanging out, but now you're sending me all these mixed messages, and I'm just confused.
Because, like, I think we can all clearly see Benji wants to hang out with Victor. Benji wants to be with Victor. He's just being told by so many experts that he can't, that he's like, I have to listen to what they're doing, what they're saying, because it's helping me along my recovery. But he wants to talk to Victor, and I don't agree. I really do not agree that this is going to be a negative thing for him. I would agree that old Victor and Benji would have been a very bad thing for Benji, but they're not the same people. People learn, people change, especially through trauma. And I think I know trauma is a big word to use for what they went through, but it's a version of trauma, if you get what I mean. Like, it was a negative thing in their lives. It was an event that ended in the ending of their relationship that caused Victor a lot of pain. And he's come to realize a lot of the things that were wrong with their relationship and a lot of the things that were making them argue in the first place that I think it's naive to say that they wouldn't argue, but I don't think they'd argue on the level that they used to. And you've already seen that Victor is so much more understanding of Benji's sobriety. Like, it was just so many things that weren't out in the open, but now that they all are, I don't see any negatives of Benji and Victor getting together. If anything, it's going to be positive, so he can help him along his journey.
You're right. I'm sorry. Just forget it.
Yeah. Benji's got to figure out what he wants / needs, and then he can, like, talk to you.
Hey, Isabel, oh, look at you, stunning, as always.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Miss Weston. I'm just gonna put all this stuff down. Good to see you.
Awkward.
I think anything that reminds her of Felix is hard right now.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean? Why?
Because they broke up. Felix didn't tell you.
I don't know.
He worries.
No, he did not.
He worries it'll overwhelm her, bless his heart. Especially when she's got her own stuff that is worrying her.
What is all this?
I was thinking we could make a pie from Dua Lipa's new cookbook, Dua Lipa's Doing Pizza.
Holy, this is too much, my darling.
You moving is future us's problem. I want to live in the now. Savor every moment we've got.
Does Lucy not agree?
I mean, I guess so.
How come savor the epic mess I'm about to make?
I don't know, there was a bit of tension in the air there with Lucy, but I feel like Lucy's just a bit confused because this isn't typically what Lake would do. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things, it's very easy to say live in the moment, but I feel like it's just going to play on Lake's mind, and she'll either be like overly happy or she won't want to talk about certain things. I just feel like this is a bad idea. I think they do need to talk about it, and then if they both want to live in the moment, then sure, go for it, but they need to have that discussion first, in my opinion.
Hey, Nick, this is my friend Raheem, and you must be Connor. It's so nice to meet you, dude. I've heard so much about you.
Really? Actually, he's heard a totally chill amount about you. Almost nothing at all.
Look at this jacket.
Oh, this whole thing.
Yes.
Welcome to Raheem.
So, Connor, where are you from? Wisconsin. Oh, dude, that's sick. So how long have you been out here for?
Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me?
Is it cool if we sit at the patio? Those guys are not the vibe.
Hey, what? Sorry, go on.
It's fine, just ignore them.
Okay.
You can't just ignore something like that, you know? He's going to feel uncomfortable the whole dinner now, which is fucking annoying.
I just happened to overhear you on the phone with your coach. Sounds like you skipped out on a big opportunity to be here. Mia didn't understand how important that would be for you.
He didn't tell her, I assume.
I love how devoted you are to my daughter.
But?
Just want to make sure that devotion doesn't get in the way of your future.
Yeah.
You know, Mia wouldn't want that.
Andrew knows that Mia wouldn't want it, and that's why he hasn't told her, but I feel like a lot of people get confused in relationships, and they think that you have to be 100% devoted to the relationship and the relationship alone, which, while that sounds amazing on paper, it just does not work in life. Like, how is Andrew ever going to get to a good point in his own personal future if he's giving up a load of opportunities to do what Mia wants without telling her all about all these opportunities that he's about to have? Do you get what I mean? Like, it's just not going to work. And not only that, but you're going to cause a rift with Mia if she later finds out that you've done this, because it'll make her feel a bit shitty that she is the reason that you haven't had this good future that you would have always wanted. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's just so many intricacies to this that you've got to be open and honest with your partner, discuss these things, and have it be a 50-50 split. You do things for Mia and she does things for you. And not just that, but Mia does things for herself and you do things for yourself. You don't have to do everything for each other 24/7. That's the key to a negatively built relationship. It just won't go anywhere, because you may get to a certain point in your future where you resent what happened, or maybe you and Mia break up, and then what have you got left? You've given up your own personal future to be with her. Now that you're not together, what do you have left? There's just so many things to this where you got to be 50-50. 50% of you in the relationship, the other 50% for yourself, just to make sure that you are okay alone, you know? Being 100% reliant on a relationship is never a good idea.
I talked to my ex-boyfriend today, and it made me really sad. He's staying away from me right now because I asked him to. See, my parents, they think he's a trigger. I don't know if they're right about Victor.
I don't think they
We
are.
were fighting a lot before we broke up, and yeah, that made me want to drink. He also made me happier than anyone else in the world.
Exactly. It makes me so angry, especially when you think about what his dad said to Victor. It makes me so fucking angry, because there were so many moments where they were so good together, and if you're talking about the present time right now, they are so good together. Like, they understand each other more. Victor wouldn't go and get annoyed at Benji, and Victor would understand triggers, things that get to Benji, and he would be able to help him through that. Yes, it's a personal journey, but you have to have people who help you along the way, and I think Victor would be an amazing person to have by his side. But they're all so caught up in the negative bits of their relationship that no one's allowing themselves to think of all the positives that it gave Benji. And even that, like Benji just said, not talking to Victor and having this negative relationship with Victor because he can't talk to him made him want to drink. So, like, it's just, it's so aggravating. Just leave them alone and let them do what makes them happy, bro. I get where his parents are coming from. I get that they're scared and they want to protect their child, but they've also got to listen to their child as well.
I am torturing myself, staying away from my favorite person. I'm not even sure it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, why do it if you don't need to?
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
What's so wrong about the school actually wanting to celebrate Victor's queerness?
I don't understand why you're so pressed about this. It's just...
Yeah. Because I think this is a key moment of not understanding Raheem as a person. Victor doesn't understand the difference of their queerness. Victor is very proud within himself. He has a completely supportive family now, and he's also on the basketball team, so there's that level of popularity as well mixing in. Like, even though Victor has had a hard life, do not get me wrong, the whole thing he went through with his mum and everything, fucking stressful, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But he has to understand that on Raheem's side, Raheem's still got family back home that would completely hate him for just being who he is. He has people make fun of him. Victor dresses very straight-like, if you get what I mean. Like, he doesn't stand out as a feminine person, whereas Raheem does because of the fashion that he chooses to wear. And like we just had, 2 guys just made fun of him for wearing a, what, like just a neon colored jacket? Like, I still don't understand why they thought that that was so fucking funny. But Victor just needs to understand that Raheem, while he does come across as a very open and proud person, within himself, he probably does hold a lot of shame. Within himself, he probably isn't as proud as you think he is. So the idea of standing up in front of people and being proud for who you are and being like an advocate for the normalization of queerness, of course Raheem's going to be happy of that. And I think that Victor is just not being... I get why he's not. We have to remember all these people are young, but Victor isn't being understanding enough of his friend to understand why Raheem would be feeling this way.
I'm not pressed.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna go hit the bathroom.
Me too.
All right, for sure.
We'll see you guys outside.
Yeah.
Are they going to have a bit of an argument, or are they going to have an understanding conversation?
I'm fine. What are you looking at?
Wow.
Yeah, you wish, fag.
Wow.
You really think that I would go for someone like you? Just look at me and then look at yourself. Your face
Ooh.
is so busted, your hairline's literally running away from it.
Nice one.
You are sad. You're ignorant. You were yesterday.
Nice one, Raheem. I mean, scary,
Is
but
there a
nice.
problem here?
Back the fuck up.
It's not worth it, man.
Back the fuck up.
Yeah, that was intense. How did you come up with that on the spot?
I didn't. The second I saw those guys, I was thinking about what I was going to say if they bothered us.
I'm struggling gathering my thoughts here, to be honest with you, because I'm like Raheem, to be quite honest with you. I am always on the defense. I'm always thinking in my head that something bad is going to happen, which I know is a shit way to live, but it is what it is. And I thought that that was an extremely common thing. The issue that I'm having is I'm struggling to relate to Victor here, because it's... I know that it sounds bad, but it's strange to me that a gay person, especially of a minority, doesn't think that way. Because I thought it was so commonplace. I thought that it was one of those like unspoken things that a lot of people are just constantly anxious, constantly worried that something bad's going to happen. They're constantly aware of their surroundings, constantly aware of who is around them, what they would do if X event happened. And I just thought that that was a common thing. So I'm struggling to connect with Victor because I'm struggling to get these words out because I thought it was common. I thought this was a normal thing. I thought that we all did this because unfortunately there are a lot of fucking awful people in the world and a lot of people that you're going to have to defend yourself against. So it's just strange to me that Victor doesn't understand that. But I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe people don't normally think this way. I thought it was a normalized thing that you would be on the defense a lot of the time because you're scared of how people are going to behave towards you, you know?
I'm constantly in situations like this. So when there are guys laughing at me, I can't just ignore them, not like you.
Yeah.
Good night, Victor.
Still trying to process my thoughts.
Like, we need to talk.
No, I don't want to, okay? I am keeping things fun and light.
But you don't have to, if that's not what works for you.
But Felix and his stupid not Mia advice.
There we go. You can't just brush it under the carpet. Just talk about it.
I just don't understand why you have to go.
I've been sad for a really long time. My stepmom can't stand me. My dad gets depressed when he looks at me because I'm the spinning image of my mom. I need a fresh start.
I get it now. I just can't keep falling more and more in love with you until you leave me.
Yeah.
You want to break up?
No, not at all. But I think we have to.
Oh, okay. Understandable. Because the way I understand it, aren't they opposite sides of America? Portland and Atlanta this is filmed in, isn't it? Yeah, they're like they're like the most opposite you can get of states in America. So I do understand why long distance doesn't like, because basically my mindset is always, when I think of things, I obviously think of my own experiences and I think of my own country. So the idea of the UK is it's so small that long distance is like a 8-hour drive and it's not that bad. Whereas America, it would be like a fucking 8-hour flight. So I do get what they're saying about long distance not working, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just so frustrating with all the modern technology that we have, that someone being that far away is still too far. Do you get what I mean? It's still too far for a relationship to work. I just think it's very personal, because I've always been in the mindset of long distance relationships are not good or better or worse or anything like that, but they're just a different kind of relationship and it has its ups and downs. So I think the other thing is as well that I've seen so many long distance relationships work out that I've always been of the mindset that they are definitely worth a go so long as you are both prepared for what it will be. But if they are not prepared for that, if that's not the kind of relationship that they want, then I completely understand that. Like, so many people need to have physical contact with someone very often to be in a healthy relationship, a healthy, balanced relationship for themselves. So I do get that. I understand.
Harder than I thought.
Going home.
Being away.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Joking around with you and my dad today.
Yeah.
Being with the baby.
Thing with Mia is, like, she's wanted her whole life to have this happy family that she's never got, and now she does actually have a chance at it. Like, she's on good terms with her dad and his partner. She's got this new baby brother. It's like, it's as close to a happy family as Mia's ever gonna get, and it is a happy family, you know what I mean? I don't know why I worded it that way. It is a happy family that she has the opportunity to live with. So it's going to be really hard on her because she wants to live with her friends. She wants to have the life that she had before, but this is sort of her dream. So she's got to really weigh up in her head what the best course of action is for her. What will bring her the most happiness? There'll be sadness both ways. She'll miss her dad, she'll miss Veronica, she'll miss the baby. But then if she goes to live with them, she'll miss her friends. It's like, there's sadness both ways, but she's got to figure out what's the best option for her.
It's like, I finally have a family.
Exactly what I was just saying.
Mia, sometimes we think we know what we want with every fiber of our being, and then life happens.
You could do a trial run.
Andrew loves you. I think he would understand.
Are we honestly ending season 3 of Love Victor with everyone single? Is that what we're doing here?
What about Zahir? For his name.
Zahir? Why do I know
Shining
Zahir?
bright.
Fucking The Legend of Korra. Spelt differently, but...
And I got you your favorite beef stroganoff. We are gonna get over this breakup in no time.
Both of your breakups.
We're gonna do that another time. I want you to come with me.
Interesting.
One of your floats in Millionaire.
I ran into Isabel and she told me about your breakup.
Look, I'm fine.
You're fine. I know. You're fine. You have been putting my emotions before yours for so long that you have gotten really good at pretending to be fine, at least in front of me.
Okay, that's
Well
not
done.
true.
It is.
It is. Well done. Good mum moment.
You're my son, I'm your mother, and I am finally well enough that I can act like it. We're gonna have Rupert floats because you love them. We're gonna watch Millionaire because Kimmel, I mean, right? He soothes.
This makes me so happy.
Come on.
I really do miss Pilar.
I know you do.
That actually brought tears to my eyes, bro. Holy fuck. Stuff like that is just so beautiful to see, though. To see someone go through such an amazing personal journey like she has, to get to a point where she's well enough to know that, but not just that, to know that she knows what went down. And she shouldn't be ashamed of it. She shouldn't be ashamed of the fact that she was going through this, because there's nothing she can do. Her mental health was just not in the place to be able to help her son. And that sucks, but it's the reality of the situation. But she's now in a much better place, and it's so nice to see. I just love how self-aware she is and so aware of the relationship that she has with him, you know?
Not all bitey and slobbery like the last guy I kissed.
Really bad.
Bitey and slobbery, holy fuck.
You're telling me you don't want the team to give you an award because you're tired of always being gay Victor. Well, some of us can't hide it. You say you're out and proud, but you're out and proud on your own terms. I don't know, it just It feels personal.
I would say neither of them are necessarily in the wrong for the feelings that they have. It's just a difference of opinion. I feel like Raheem's coming from the standpoint of he physically can't hide it. Like, he's an effeminate man who dresses in a way that most straight masculine men wouldn't. And it makes him stand out. And therefore, because he's standing out, he's not standing out to stand out, don't get me wrong. He's standing out for just being who he is. Like, he's just being normal Raheem. But for some reason, that means he's standing out in our society. So when he's presented with the idea of a gay award and the idea of being out and proud and showing people that, look, this is who I am and I'm not going to be ashamed for it, that sounds great to Raheem. That sounds like something that Raheem needs. That sounds like something that he would be so supportive of. Whereas for Victor, Victor doesn't have to go through a lot of that stuff because Victor has learned to hide it. Victor has sort of ingrained the ability to hide it within himself. Like, that's now part of his personality. So to Victor, Victor doesn't dress... Like, Raheem always makes fun of Victor for the way he dresses because Victor dresses like a stereotypical straight man. So Victor doesn't have the immediate catch to people's eye to think that man is gay, whereas Raheem would. So it's a very difference of opinion, but I don't think that Victor is wrong in the way he's feeling. I would feel the same as Victor, more so from the standpoint of, I just want to live my life normally. I don't want a fucking award. I don't have to stand in front of people for something that's just so normal to me. But for people like Raheem, it's a moment of putting beside your own feelings, putting aside your own personal feelings on the situation and doing it for the betterment of others. This may not be what's good for Victor. This may not be what Victor wants, but it will help so many other people. So just fucking do it. That's where Raheem's coming from. And I get that. I understand that. It's just, I don't want this to be a whole Victor's in the wrong or Raheem's in the wrong. I think they're both in the right within themselves. It's just a difference of opinion.
I'm gonna accept the award.
Yeah.
Don't do it for me.
I'm not doing it for you. Doing it for me.
I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of that. We'll talk about it at the end.
Your dad is ecstatic. He said the name Zahara maybe 500 times in the past 5 minutes.
I'm scared to watch this.
I mean,
I want it.
I feel like they could make long distance work, which is why I'm going to be sad if they just break up.
there was a recruiter from Northwestern at the game I missed. Nothing is more important to me than being there for you. I don't like keeping things from you, so I just wanted to tell you. Your turn. What did you want to talk about?
Just do it, Mia, please. You gotta be honest.
I just wanted to thank you.
Yep. Oh, Mia. I get it.
You've been
That was like the
incredible
worst thing Andrew could have said before she wanted to come out with what she wanted to come out with. Oh.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know where else to go.
My darling. Aww. Oh, Lake. It's for the best, my sweetheart. If it wasn't gonna work for you, it wasn't gonna work. It is what it is.
I guess scary shit finds a way of making you realize what's important to you.
Benji, you might have had the wrong time to have your enlightened moment. Is he watching? Yeah. I know it's not his fault, but it's just so... You took too long, Benji.
You know how you and Dad wanted me to think about boarding school?
I thought he would go this route.
Why?
Because I want to go.
Fuck. There's so many complex things to talk about with this episode. Holy shit. I need a minute to, like, gather my thoughts. So yes, that was episode 7 of Love, Victor. We had a lot of hard-hitting topics this episode that I want to talk about. The first one is the one that I talked about a lot, which is I try my hardest to be very empathetic and to try and understand every single person in life. I'm having a really, really hard time understanding Victor when it comes to what Raheem was saying outside of the restaurant, because I think it's the problem of my own personal experiences not allowing me to see any other option, where I struggle to understand a mindset that is separate from what Raheem was thinking, because that's how I think. When I'm in public, not necessarily when I'm in public doing just normal everyday things, but say I'm in public with a guy, or I'm in public with anything that would be perceived as something queer, I am very, very aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of the people around me. I'm aware of what they're saying. I'm aware if they're looking at me, if they're laughing. What's the vibe going on around me? Because I'm just always on the defense. I'm always ready if something happens. So it's hard for me to relate to Victor here. It's hard for me to relate to what he said about just ignore it, because I would be sitting there in the corner of my eye staring at those guys the entire time and just like prepared in case something happened. And I can't understand not being that way. I can't understand how your brain wouldn't think that. How do you just brush that off? How do you not think about that 24/7? How is that not just the only thing on your mind? And when they walked out and they finally said something, it kind of proved to Raheem that everything he was thinking was correct. And it's just really hard for me to relate to Victor in that scenario. But when it comes to the conversation that they had later on, and he said, I'm going to accept the award, not for you, but for me, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, to be honest, because I don't think that there is any shame in not accepting that reward. I don't think that there is any shame in not wanting to do that, because I don't think it's necessarily a thing about, I don't want to accept the award because that's not who I am. Ew, I don't want to like relate to gay things. I don't want to be seen as gay, because that comes across as a shame thing. The way I see it is, and the way I would be in that situation is, I don't want to stand on a stage and accept this award. I don't want to stand there and be the gay. I don't want to stand there and be like, oh, you're so brave for what you've done. I'm not. I'm just being me, like you are being you. Why am I getting a reward and you're not? It doesn't make sense to me. And I would get quite frustrated at that fact, and I wouldn't want to do it. But you look at Raheem's side of things, and I would understand if Victor was accepting the award on behalf of Raheem. I would understand that. I don't understand Victor having this change of mindset of, I'm going to accept it for me, because that kind of paints the picture that you should accept the award, which, in my opinion, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't necessarily think that that is a good thing to do. When it comes to me, don't get me wrong, like if this award was given to someone else, I wouldn't sit there and go, why are you accepting that? Because it's a personal thing. It's up to you, how you want to be perceived, how you perceive yourself enough to do that. And I don't know, it doesn't fit with me. It doesn't fit with my vibe, doesn't fit with who I am as a person, and I would not accept that award. Now, when it comes to accepting it on behalf of other people, then I would. Of course I would. If this is going to help other people, I'd do it. Like, you suck it up and just do it. Accept the award if it's going to really... If there's one person in the crowd that they're like, oh my god, I feel so accepted, and I'm going to live my life for me, and then they end up having a happy life because of it. Of course you would do it, you know? But if we're talking about the own personal experiences and how you feel about the award, I don't think that it's a good light to show Victor being like, no, you're right, I should accept it. Because I don't necessarily agree, but just personal opinion in that. Moving on from there, let's talk about Benji. I do feel really bad for Benji. This isn't Benji being confused because he's just confused. This is Benji being confused because he's got people in his ear telling him that he shouldn't be with Victor and that it's a negative experience for you. It's going to cause you to drink. When he's sitting there thinking, why would the person who brings so much happiness and so much light to my life be such a negative thing? Why are you telling me, the person who isn't in the relationship, the person who isn't a part of me and Victor being together, why are you telling me that we shouldn't and that it's going to be a bad thing? You don't know. And that's why it's so fucking sad to see Benji finally have this moment of just, you know what, I do know what I want. Finally get there, and Victor's moving on, which it's not Victor's fault at all. Victor's entitled to do whatever he sees fit. They broke up. It was all on Benji's terms. Victor's just living in the world that Benji made him. But saying that, it's not the world that Benji made him. It's not what Benji wanted. It's what people were telling him he wanted. And that's the saddest thing of all. If it was just Benji had made this decision and then regretted it, I wouldn't be as on his side as I am right now, because I'd be like, well, you've done it to yourself, mate. But he didn't do it to himself. He had people doing it for him, which is so fucking sad. But even with all of the advancement that Victor and Nick had this episode, I still feel like him and Benji are going to be together by the end of next episode. It's been leading up all season. It's just so hard to think about the fact that we have one episode left and they've got so many stories to tie up. I don't know how I'm going to feel at the end of next episode in terms of feeling like people's stories are complete. But yes, anyway, what else have we got to talk about? Oh my god, the relationship between Felix and his mum. It's so rare that a show brings me to tears, and I always find it so funny doing these reactions, the things that bring me to tears, because it's not the things that you would expect. Like, why out of everything was that conversation between Felix and his mum the thing that brought me to tears in Love, Victor? It's so funny, but they're my favorite kinds of scenes, where you see someone who's gone through such a big personal struggle, and they've come out the other side so positive, and she's doing so well, and I'm so proud of her. But not just that, it's not like she's just proud of herself and she has forgotten everything that Felix has done. She's so aware of what Felix has done for her. She's so aware And she's got to a good place now that she can finally be the mother that she's always wanted to be. And that's just so beautiful to see. And it's so beautiful to see Felix's side as well. One, accepting that, and one, accepting that she's going to be there for him now. But two, it's nice to see is the wrong phrasing, but you get what I mean. It's nice to see that Felix still has these innate things within him where he senses that he's going to upset his mum and he knows not to, so he keeps it within. It's nice to see that then come full circle and her be like, I see that. I understand that. I'm not ignorant. I'm not stupid. I understand why you're doing this. Just be honest with me, I can take it. It's just, oh, that really gets to me. That really does. Those are my favorite kinds of scenes and shows. But yes, that was episode 7 of Love, Victor. We have 1 episode left, which is insane to me. Then the show is going to be complete. We'll have no more Love, Victor, which Love, Victor's had its ups and downs. Season 2 was definitely one of the downs, but at the end of the day, this was before Young Royals. It was before Heartstopper. It was before so many of the good queer content that we have now that you've still got to just appreciate what Love, Victor was and what Love, Victor brought to light. Like, you never know. Maybe if Love, Victor never aired, we wouldn't have had Young Royals. We wouldn't have had Heartstopper. You never know. So I just really appreciate Love, Victor for what, at least in its beginnings, it did for the queer community. But yes, with that said, that was episode 7, and I'm excited for the finale. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon, where you'll be able to find the early and uncut reactions to Love, Victor and all the other shows that I do. I've also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.